Hola, welcome to another episode of Aero World, what it's like, where every week we get to chill with some of South Africa's loved celebrities and most influential people. Today we've got a very special guest in studio, none other than the master producer himself, one of the world's most famous DJs, and Mr. Controversy himself, who's always headlining our news, whether good or bad. Prince Kaybee, what's happening? What's happening, my guy?
How are you, Maji?
I'm nothing, man. Eh?
What an introduction.
Yeah. Yeah, man, let's start with the name, Prince KB. I've always wondered, how did that come about?
Literally, I think I've got two sentences. I looked in the mirror and I saw a prince.
Yeah.
So, obviously, when you start, you want to, how do you say it? Say something as close as possible to your name.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to imagine someone else because it won't be real in that sense, according to me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep the Kabelo as a KB. My real name is Kabelo.
Kabelo, all right.
Surname is Motamai.
Yeah.
And I want to keep the KB with the prince, and it sounded okay in my head.
Yeah.
Still sounds okay.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So the name Prince KB, did that basically start up when you had already gone into the game and made your mark into the game, or is it a name that you started off with?
No, I didn't start off with that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If I could tell you the name I was DJ Christy.
Christy.
Imagine, bro. Like,
Okay.
That's why I say I used to be into a lot of like techno.
Okay.
Back in the day. So there's this plugin. A plugin is something that we use when we try and modify sounds and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it was called Crystal.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
the
okay.
plugin was called Crystal, and then I was like, how do I make this cheesy? And then I came up with that, but it didn't stick with me for long. I think I did away with that name a year into my DJ career.
Yeah.
At the time, it wasn't a career; it was just just trying things around, and and then I did away with it and changed to Prince KB.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. Like your whole DJing and producing career. Where did that all start? Where did that all start out, and why DJing? Why music production? What made you go into that? Also, go next door doctor.
Yeah, I think that's what my parents would have liked.
Yeah.
Like any other parent, they want something sustainable. Theoretically, you would think a child should, study and be something in life, and that's disappointed a lot of my family people.
But I'm not sure. I'm sure right now there nobody.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
the
of
money's
course,
coming in.
of course, of course. So, how I started is I dropped out of grade 11. Right,
Okay.
I don't have a matric. Dropped out of grade 11. Very, very rebellious back in the day. Grade 11, English teacher, Miss Susani. Her name was Miss Susani. So she used to give me her car. Not give me her car. So our school was like, we used to change classes. But when you change classes, the students leave with the teachers.
Okay.
So one teacher would teach maths and maybe Afrikaans at the same time.
Yeah,
So if I have a period of math and the next one is Afrikaans, I'm leaving with Miss Susani to the next class, right? So I was her favorite, drive a car. So it was a very big school, right? Yeah. She'd sit on the left, do whatever she's doing, drive the car. Hey, this other time, because I'm the favorite, the gents were like, let's go and do donuts there by the soccer field. I fell into that trap. We did the donuts, got suspended from school. After my suspension, the appetite of school wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And then I told my mom, she wasn't pleased with it. And one other driving force behind me doing or taking the initiative to stand on my own is I used to look at my mom starve herself for us to eat. At the time I had already made someone pregnant. It was just a mess. Suspended, there's a girl pregnant. You don't have a job, right? You have a child, and your mom is like, always you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. you know. And I used to watch that with my mom, and it was not a good sight. And I just left. I was in the streets for like a good 4 years. My mom didn't know where I was.
Damn.
Yeah, my mom didn't know where I was, literally. I called her one day when I was, there's a show on SABC1 called Ones and Twos. I won that DJ competition. That's when I started calling my mom, yo, this is what I'm doing now. Blah, blah. No, come home, we want to see you, and so forth, you know. That's when we reunited as a family. But that's how everything started. Moved to a place called Bloemfontein in the Free State. Yeah, started being on the streets there. And every time this xenophobic thing happens where, of course, we've got our own opinions about foreigners in the country and so forth. But one thing for me, when I went to Bloem, I was taken in by a foreigner. It's a guy who owned a club and was like, can you DJ, my brother? And I was like, yeah, I can DJ. And then he's like, no, DJ, be my resident DJ, and I'll give you 200 rand a week. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Where am I going to sleep? He's like, no, you sleep at the back there by the crates. I was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
There was a little couch there. Slept there for like 3 years. Of course, I had a girlfriend at the time. Sometimes I'd sleep at a place. Yeah, but that was my home. Yeah, that was my home. I borrowed a laptop from some guy who used to DJ there before. His name is Tabo, you know. And I produced my first song, my first ever big song, which is Better Days.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2015. And from there, I tried to summarize the story. A lot happened in the time because I was in the streets. I used to see a lot of things. I got tempted to do a lot of things. I'm a product of, how do you say it, of suffering. You know, a lot of violence, a lot of greed. There's a lot of things that happens in the streets that people want to boast about. If you're really from the streets, it's nothing to boast about. It's things you want to really forget, especially when you have kids. These are not things that you're trying to boast about and say, I was in the streets, I was doing this, I was doing that. So the ones that really try to boast about it didn't really go through what we saw. I tried to summarize.
No, definitely. And you know, right now hearing your story, you know what I mean? It's so, it says a lot to me. It speaks to me as well. And such podcasts are very important because, I mean, from face value, from what I saw personally, in terms of media-wise and everything, I could have seen you so well-spoken, you so well-rounded. I could have seen you just a cheese boy,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly,
so people don't even know that part about you.
Exactly. You're right. Because I meet a lot of people, especially people I can speak for people that I've met and spent time with. Now I'm going to speak about my family because I'm very introverted. I don't let a lot of people in my space. And I would speak at a podcast or I would speak at any interview, radio or whatever the case. And my son would be like, why aren't you that guy that's on the screen when you are with us? So when I'm with them, I don't prepare anything. I'm just normal. You know, sometimes I would zone out. I still have flashbacks of the things I used to go through back in the day, of course. But I'm not the same person when I'm on the screen. So I don't blame you because I put on a face. Right? I put on a facade so that you don't get through to me. It's a side that I'm trying to hide from the world, and I don't blame you at all.
So when was the breaking point, you know, actually from Bloem, after you had actually produced your first song? When was the actual big break where you actually, I mean, it was a break already for the guy to have you as a resident DJ there. That's a stepping stone on its own. But when was that big break that actually turned things around for you?
I mean, there's a lot of steps, right? And I'll start with the first one, which was when I started doing DJ competitions. Right? I'm very competitive in nature. I think my son will attest to that because we do go-karts together, and because of my weight he always beats me, but I'm always like, I want to beat this guy, and I'll never beat him. So The first time I really saw some progress is when I found God. Right. I found God in the most unbelievable circumstances. To a point, I even became a home cell leader at some point. At some point in my life, I met a guy called Tuxedo. His name is Tuxedo, actually.
Yeah.
He never wore a tuxedo, but he's just I don't understand where he got that name, but we'll run with it.
Yeah.
So I met Tuxedo. Tuxedo was a staunch like church boy, so he liked how I played.
Yeah.
He used to come every time to listen to the music. He used to ask me if I produce any music, and I say, I do some production here and there. He listened to the music, and there's a verse that he always articulated to me that when you're among sinners, you must not be a Christian.
Wow.
That's what he used to say to me.
Okay.
So I never knew he was a Christian.
Yeah.
He was luring me into into this thing, but I didn't even notice. And then because I liked his character, I liked the person he is, we just started clicking, And I remember this other story. I kid you not, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Tuxedo was going to the movies with his girlfriend, right? This is where Tuxedo and I actually became very tight. He was going to the movies with his girlfriend, and on the side, at the movie theater outside the mall, there was a pregnant woman, homeless pregnant woman. She was bleeding all over the place. It was a mess, right? So the Tuxedo's like to the girlfriend, yo, I've got so much amount that is only for the movies, and here's a problem here. A very giving guy. Yeah, he's not selfish at all, can we sort the lady out? Can we help the lady out? The girlfriend was like, yeah, sure, no worries. Even if we don't do the movies, let's help her out. Tuxedo takes this woman to the hospital with a, what was it called back in the day? Meter taxi. We didn't have Ubers back in the day. Yeah. Meter taxi to the hospital, a public hospital, of course. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have medical aid. We are just us, and then drop them off at the, I say them because she was pregnant. Dropped them off at the hospital and never saw her again, right? So we're going about our lives 1 year, 2 year. The third year, we get evicted out of where we used to stay, me and Tuxedo. I couldn't afford the rent. He couldn't afford the rent also at some stage. And then he was trying to look for apartments. Bro, this lady recognized Tuxedo.
What?
In her car.
Wow.
In her car. This lady recognized Tuxedo in her car. She was doing, what was she doing, man? I think she was studying or something. Wow. Yo, what's happening? It's like, no, I'm the lady that, I remember you.
Wow.
Okay, cool. So what are you doing? It's like, no, I'm evicted. I'm looking for a place to stay. I'm looking for a place to stay. Bro, I kid you not, that lady got us a thingy for 3 months, a place for 3 months, right? And bought us a couch and a TV.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
That's when Tuxedo and I and the faith I have in God really, started getting really strong. And we did the home cell leading. We were praying in tongues. It was the whole thing. It was the whole thing. And I started competing, right? And I always had this thing of, God has me. God has me. No matter what I do, God has me. God has me. And I've never been in a competition that I don't win.
Wow.
I think I've been in 6 DJ competitions. I've won all of them.
Damn.
Yeah, I've got medals at home. My biggest one was the SABC 1s and 2s. Of course, there's like 4 million viewers every week when you get there, and that opened a lot of doors for me. That was a lot of marketing, and also after I won that, I released another song called Wajelwa, the guitar song, and then I was gone, and one thing about music money, it doesn't come immediately. You can release a hit and you'll take 4 to 5 years without seeing the income. But you can do gigs and all those things, but you've got your own problems that you left behind. You've got your mom, you've got your son, got other people that you owe
Yeah.
money, you borrowed. I've got Victor. His name is Victor, the Nigerian guy that
Oh,
took me
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got him as well to go thank him.
Yeah, yeah.
There's quite a lot of things you need to go back to. So I
Mm.
didn't see money for quite some time, but I
Yeah.
was content with my life and the
Yeah.
progress that I was
Exactly.
going through. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, with your long journey in the music industry, like in terms of your style of DJing, your genre, what do you actually classify it under? I mean, I heard you play such a beautiful set. I didn't even know what to call it. You know,
Oh,
just the past
Nelspruit.
weekend in Nelspruit, that was a fire set. Like I was on my feet the whole time. So.
I'd call it Afro melodic house. Yeah, I'd call it that because I'm very
Yeah.
melodic in my
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
in my approach.
Mm.
I just don't like drums going on and on
Yeah.
and on. You know, I just want melodies to shine. I like to give vocalists as well
Yeah,
the platform to shine. If
definitely.
you check most of my hits,
Yep.
have vocals.
Features. Yep.
Yeah, features a lot of. I feature a lot of people in my music.
Yeah.
So I just like that. So I would call it melodic Afro house. Yeah. Yeah.
And then your creative process in terms of coming up with a new song, or actually, as we say now, featuring people.
Yeah.
How does that whole thing? What is your creative process like? Do you actually like your features? Do you find an artist first, or do you sort of gel with the beats first and produce
Yeah,
before you
it's-
call somebody in?
It's mostly like the music first.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like an urge. You know, when you're a child and you want to go play outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that urge that you want to go play outside, and it feels so free when you're within the music.
Yeah.
So I just sit around at home, and then something just tells me to make music, and I want to feel free. I want to feel happy. I want to feel the love from
Yeah.
the music, and I would do that. And the creative process is not really that extreme. I just use my talent. I hear sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I try and explain them musically. After that, I'll call in a vocalist that I think
Yeah.
would fit the job, and that happens like that. I don't write music.
Yeah,
People come, the vocalists, they come and write their own music.
Yeah.
And if I don't like what you wrote, I had a bit of a beef Lady Zama when we did
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Mm.
She came in. Zama, an amazing vocalist.
Yeah,
One of the most talented women I've ever worked with. You know, she came in and wrote quite a lot
Yeah.
on the song, and I've always thought I've got a radio.
Yeah,
ear.
yeah.
You know, I don't want to bore people. I want to top charts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that was my whole aim, and I cut out a lot on that song.
Yeah.
Where she poured out her heart. Charlotte is actually about a relationship.
Mm.
Yeah, I think she was writing something that she
Yeah.
went through, and I cut that out. And it's her piece, it's a work, it's a
Yeah.
it's a lyrics. And Zama is a lyricist.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not just a nobody. Trust me.
Mm.
So I cut out a lot, and she wasn't happy with that, and we went through our own turmoil.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so when you come and you overdo it, I sit you down and show
Yeah.
you what's the direction of the music,
Yeah.
where I want to take it.
Yeah.
Zama wasn't pleased with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, because you already have you already envisioned that particular track
Yeah.
to how it's gonna be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's mostly the case. I mean, when you're a producer, when someone comes in studio and records a song and leaves, you left with all the pieces.
Yeah.
To put
together,
together. You're left with the mixing, the
Yeah.
mastering, how the vocals are supposed to be. Are they too rough, too soft?
Yeah.
All those things. You left to, like, you can take a week, if not one night. You know, you can take months
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. I remember there's a song called Banomoya that we did with Busiso.
Yeah. Yeah.
Busiso came in and rapped and left.
Mm.
Like, we didn't have a song.
Wow.
She just came in and then left. We didn't even have a song.
Wow.
Even that Kutihu was not even a
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
I took a piece somewhere. I added a delay, and we had a word. You know.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff that she did on the song, I'm not gonna say they didn't make sense, but they didn't fit
Yeah.
the narrative. what we were trying to achieve with the song, and I cut out a lot there as well.
Yeah.
But Anna, she's very open with creativity.
Yeah.
She didn't really find a problem with that.
Yeah.
So you do a lot as a producer before, in between, and after.
Yeah.
Right. Before recording, while recording, and after recording.
Yeah.
You left with this big mess.
Exactly.
Right, of vocals.
Yeah.
Layering them. And Zama is one vocalist that layers the vocals.
Yeah.
She says one sentence 3 times, right? That's the main vocal.
Yeah.
And then the same sentence with harmonies 3 more times.
Yeah.
And then the same sentence with higher harmonies 3 more times. And then the same sentence with lower harmonies 3 more times. The same sentence with mid harmonies 3 more times. That's like a layer of
now
vocalists.
you need to dissect.
We just spend an hour on one sentence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So you layer it, and then you meet someone like Busisa who just wants one thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it depends who you work with and how you work with them.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Thank you for clarifying that. I mean, a lot of us out there don't even know the difference. People just see DJs and they are all classified as DJs. You are a DJ and you are a producer as well. So which is 2 totally different things as well. Yeah. You know, you don't just play people's tracks and that's the end of the party, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah. Speaking about beefs, you know, hey, you know, broken leg, broken arm. What beef?
No, you think with the with the many beefs I have, you think I was in a fight or something. I get it. Actually, someone was like, "Yeah, no, they caught up with you." Anyway, with the bike situation, I'm into motorsport, MotoGP, moto whatever, anything that has to do with an engine. I'm there. You know, my son is the same thing. You know, he's also into go-karts. I'm into go-karts as well. I started with cars. Yeah. And then I was like, I need a bit more. You know, and then I got into bikes. I crashed, I think, 5 weeks ago. Oh. Yeah, I crashed, lost the brakes, turn 1. We call it turn 1, the first corner. After a long straight. The bike just didn't want to stop. You know, and in that sense, how we were taught to fall. Yeah. You get taught to fall, and also you get taught to stay on the bike, you know. So you need to know when it's time to let go of the bike. Yeah. You know, so it was time. I was in the gravel strip. And then I was wobbly and I was going at 200 k's an hour. Yeah. I had to fly off the bike. There was no way I was going to save that. You know, because if I had held on to the bike, I think I would have had more injuries. You know, so that's how I wrecked myself into pieces.
Can I just ask? You seem like an adrenaline junkie. You know what I mean? Yeah. Apart from that, as well, you are one of the most controversial artists out there and producers. Yeah. When do you actually find a time of peace? Where would you say is your most peaceful time?
Within the adrenaline is a peaceful time. Yeah, it's very peaceful there. Trust me, the most peaceful time.
And yet, that experience is peaceful.
So I went through. There was a phase where I went through some things, you know, mentally, and I got introduced to riding. I once. I think I did from Joburg. I did Cape Town, and then I did Durban. I went around again to coming back to Johannesburg, and that's how much. It's like a good 3,000 k's or something. Yeah, and I did that in 3-4 days. And during that time on a bike, I had literally forgotten what was going on in my life. You know, so it helped me mentally. Yeah. Because when you're on a bike, you don't have that split second to think about what happened yesterday and whatever. Because
to be fully in it.
As soon as you do that, you fall. Yeah. Yeah. So I was really connected to the road, feeling everything, you know, thinking about what I'm doing. Yeah. How fascinating it is, you know, during that time. And it took me out of some hectic things in my life that were happening in my head at the time. Yeah. So that's the love I have for bikes, you know. And when I say it's peaceful there, I mean it. Yeah. because as soon as I get off the bike, the phone rings. Hey, someone says this on Twitter. Also, someone says this. You know.
Yeah.
The kids want this. You know. Now everything starts happening. Now you start being an adult.
Yeah.
But when I'm on the bike, my phone is not
That's
there.
it.
I'm peaceful.
No.
Yeah.
I get you.
That's a peace I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then all this, you know, you're saying that's your peaceful moment. Apart from that, like, I mean, you are a public figure. You are always in the media, whether good or bad. How do you deal with all the negativity? I mean, there's always controversy. Like, I would say in my books, you're probably the most controversial, DJ around. So, like, how do you deal with that? Because obviously, not everything we get to see on the socials are actually true or not. And how do you actually deal with such things where sometimes lies are told or the truth is actually told, but it's things that are private that you don't want to expose out there?
I mean, my quandary with social media is that I think I'm mostly misunderstood.
Yeah.
You know, I come from a time where things are very confrontational. Yeah. If I have a problem with you, I'm going to come to you. If you have a problem with me and I sense that problem, I would expect you to come to me. Do you understand what I mean? So there weren't any keyboard warriors, you know. Let me say this thing. I know I won't meet him. I'll never see him. No, you know. So with that background, when someone comes at me on the left, I go to the left. Do you understand? When you come at me on the right, I go to the right. Meaning, I go where the problem is. You understand? Because I've got this background of being confrontational. You know, and I'm not saying confrontational in a toxic way. Now you're picking fights with everyone. Confrontational. If there is a problem,
let's clear it out.
We need to clear it out right now. If it goes the first way, you can do it if you can. But that's not always that's not what you always want to do. You know what I mean? So, with that background, man, I mean, I'm not proud of the things that I've said on social media. It's how do you say it? When I would say when I itch, I scratch. You know? When something is bothering me, I have to attend to it. So I'm not going to let an itch and then do this all the time and it bothers me the whole day. You know, I need to scratch. You know, I need to get that thing out of the way. So that's how I am on social media, and a lot of my close people have told me, put down your phone. You know what kind of a person you are, and so forth. And so if you're going to start something with me, I'm going to end it. That's always my thing. If you start something with me, I'll end it. And I've noticed that with most celebrities. Also, I don't like calling myself a celebrity. I'll tell you why. But I've noticed with most celebrities, the quieter you are, the more humble people think you are. Do you understand? If you don't say much, he's very humble, that one. So quiet is humbleness to people. You know, and you can be very arrogant and quiet. You know, you're actually the opposite of humble if you're quiet, by the way. So at least you know what I'm thinking. You know when I'm coming.
No,
you know,
for sure.
At least.
Sure.
You know that one is gonna say what's in his head. So another thing that I mentioned that I don't like being called a celebrity is because I can't be one. You know, I can't act like one. I've tried. You know, I hate photo shoots. I hate posing. Right. Every time when I have to release something, so what's the idea for the shoot? I'm like, yo, guys, I don't have ideas. Let's just rock this thing and go. You know what I mean? So I just don't have that in me. But I've seen guys when it's time to shoot new photos, when it's time to do content, and when it's time they get so excited and they are consumed by this thing. And I'm like, ish, that's not really me.
You.
I wish I could do the music, and you don't know who I am. That was the actual thought in my head that I'm going to do music and no one is going to know who I am. You know, and I think I had that understanding because God was like, you are too much of a confrontational guy to be in this industry. So you rather just do the music
Yeah, that's
and
it.
stay in the back, but
Yep.
that's not how it is.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
come perform the songs. People
Exactly,
need to see
exactly.
you.
Mm.
You need to gym, look a
Yeah.
certain way, and so forth. And
Yeah.
I think that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let's talk about the collaboration. You're the new brand ambassador for Aeronautica
Is it?
Militare. You know, so how did that collaboration come about, and how did you feel aligned to this particular brand? Because you are a brand on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that just come together. You know, I was raised very militant. You know, I keep saying, I keep telling people, I used to cut grass when I stayed with my grandparents in the morning every day before I go to school. And no matter how good you cut the grass the day before, my grandfather would make you cut it again each and every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you wash yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that grass was part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So being that militant from a young age, I grew up very, doing things, not, I wouldn't say the right way, but doing things no matter how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do things no matter how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
at the
to
end of
get
the
it
day,
done, that's
you
it.
get it done no matter how you feel. So, with the whole militant background and growing up, the look and feel
Yeah.
of the
brand,
of the brand gives that to me. That's why I resonate with it so much.
Yeah.
Man, like it's like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. For sure.
And I've got a place in Mahubas Kloof. There's a farm house that I have in Mahubas Kloof where I pick wood. Yeah, it doesn't have a heater. It doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Wow.
It doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
You know, I go there, I pick wood. I'm in a cave.
Yeah.
I'm a man in a cave.
Yeah.
That's where the word caveman come from. You know, there isn't anyone as close as a haircut. You know, if I'm there for like 2 months, my beard is gonna grow out. I'm gonna look, crusty. So that's where I go there and be a caveman.
Just zone out.
You know, just zone out and do what you need to do. And those times when I'm there, this label comes to mind. You know, just being a man. In your own space. And taking control of that space. You know,
definitely.
and surviving without all
exactly.
these other things, the Wi-Fi's and the whatevers.
Yeah. And then, what projects are you working on now? What can we expect in the near future?
I'm working on music as always. I mean, it's singles here and there. I don't want to lie. The passion is not as crazy as before, which is something I need to work on. But life happens. You know, you get into hobbies, you get into work. You raise kids. You know, you deal with beefs. You do quite a lot. And you can only do so much as a person. You know, so I mean, a lot is happening, and we still have, we now have a lot of competition. Which is Amapiano. You know, it's an amazing genre. I love it. I've got a lot of favorite songs. I even remixed one of the Amapiano songs. But the competition has taken a lot of people out of business. You know, especially the house DJs that we know. You know, we used to know that this year it's between 1, 2, and 3 that they're gonna have hits. But now Amapiano is just came like,
every
okay,
second month.
put this thing aside and it's me now, and it's life. You know, you need to accept it. So the kids are doing well. You know, I love it. The kids are buying the parents' houses. They're buying themselves houses. The economy of the artists have grown so much because of Amapiano. You know, and when people start all these gender politics, it pisses me off. Because Amapiano is a man-made. I'm not trying to be to get into the gender politics or whatever. But it's a man-made phenomenon, and it's benefiting women as well.
Yeah.
And when we start doing these gender politics,
Yeah.
it pisses me off, because if we work together, I mean, we can achieve something like Amapiano.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I mean, I'm working on some music, and yeah, that's that.
Oh, definitely. And what advice can you give? As you said, now there's a whole lot of artists, you know, hitting the stage. So, like, what advice do you have for up and coming DJs or up and coming producers, as per se?
I'm probably gonna say something that has been said quite a lot. The whole staying original, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cliche, but it's the truth. You know, as soon as even when you speak, you represent other people's thoughts.
Yeah.
You're not you. You know, you're manipulating the scenario, and those things don't last. Yeah, if you're going to try and manipulate a scenario or a certain lifestyle or be something you're not, it will eventually show.
Sure.
Yeah, the fake ones always fade off. You know, so that's just how it is. You need to be within your originality as much as you can. Yeah. As a person. Before anything else, you are a person before a creative.
Yeah.
So what you stand for and what you speak should be you.
Yep.
You know, it shouldn't be someone else.
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of people speak. They'll speak like Andrew Tate or or anyone that's controversial or wise in any space. Yeah. You meet someone and they speak like that, you know, and it's like you're like, oh man, I just wish this person could translate that into their own energy.
So originality for you is key.
Originality for me is key in music, in people, in anything that you do. You need to do things that you see fit. Yeah. But of course, I'm not saying or do something stupid. Yeah. And then you say I'm original.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. there's a line.
Yeah.
So just stay original, and that's that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, lastly, I just want to ask, you know, what is it like to be a world famous DJ and music producer?
It's terrible. I'm lying. It's got its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Its pros is, of course, you can get things easier. Yeah. Your people can get access to things as well. You know, there's quite a lot of things that I'm very proud of. Yeah. Because of how famous I've been. The cons, of course, is the whole. It's how you get too familiar with it. You know, you get too familiar. You start saying things that are not really. You didn't really think through. Yeah. You know, you start doing things as well that you didn't think through. So you're just going down a rabbit hole. Yeah. If you don't pull yourself out of it. Yeah. As soon as you can, you know. I can say other very deep things that, you know, artists should be wary of, but that's another conversation. Yeah. That's going to take forever. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think we need a second episode there to even get into the controversy there. Yeah. I think we'll need about 3 more episodes.
Yeah, we need one more. Just one more. I'm not that bad. Oh, come on. Am I that bad?
Yeah, no. Thank you so much, KB. Thank you so much, my brother, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, guys. From us at Aero World, what it's like, it's adios. Join us next time when we get to chill with some of your loved celebrities and most influential people. Cheers.